Hello Libra, and welcome to your reading today. My name is Colette. I am a tarot reader with over 30 years experience, and I'm here today to do a reading for Libra who are Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp Libra. If you don't know where any of those placements are, Libra, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out for yourselves. It's always well worth knowing your astrology charts. You can then check out your rising sign or your moon sign, your Venus sign, because you can get a bigger overall picture if you add those particular planets to your reading as well, because it's a general reading for Sun Libras. Something else just came into my head and now it's kind of disappeared again. So as I was saying, general reading for Sun Libra, but it could also be the fact that it doesn't resonate with you. You may find your story elsewhere in one of the other readings, say the moon reading for instance, or your rising sign at this time may be more strongly being accentuated and affected by other things astrologically. So it is worth going and checking out the other signs for yourself as well on my channel or on any other tarot channel out there, once you've got an overall picture of your astrological makeup, because we are more than just our sun sign. So Libra, general read, as I was saying, not going to resonate with everybody, and I'm starting your reading off today with this Bee card here, the Bee Spirit. Before I forget, in fact, I got strange, like the words that came to me earlier while I was doing my kind of bit of meditation on this was, should I or shouldn't I? Should I or shouldn't I? And the energy was very kind of like, it felt almost like you rushed into something and then kind of pulled back your energy, almost completely pulled it back, and then kind of moving towards it on a bit more of a slower basis with this kind of like, should I or shouldn't I decision to make, or this feeling about it. I don't know if that means anything to any of you Libras out there. The Bee Spirit is very much about connectivity. It's about not being separate from something. It's about realizing that everything is connected, that there is no separation. It talks of sweet results await. But in order to get those results, those sweet results that you're craving or wanting in a situation, you are being asked to realize that everything has to work together. If you look at the back of this bee, there is like this little like clockwork mechanism in his back, almost like he's a wound up bee. But it's kind of saying that, you know, each of those cogs is important. So each of those cogs in your life has an effect on you, and you have an effect on them in that sense. It's like the bigger beehive all working together to kind of create something very satisfying. I mean, honey's nutritious, it's medicinal, it's very magical. There's something that the bee itself puts into honey which can't be it can't be made artificially. It's what makes honey honey. And as a medicine, it's been around for millennia. So there's this kind of sense of needing to realize that you are part of a bigger picture or part of a bigger plan, that you're not disconnected, that you're not working on your own. And this can also include working with spirit realm as well, or on another level of energy, like energetically working with others for some of you out there. It's talking as well about being able to let go of trying to do it all by yourself as well. That by doing it all by yourself, you are making things harder, that it's harder work for you. Sorry, my throat has just gone a bit weird there. I'm gonna sorry about that, Libra. I don't know if that's got anything to do with any of you needing to communicate or connect on some level, but this is really what this card is about today. Connecting, maybe reconnecting with something, realizing that you are important, you are valuable, your part in it is needed, not to give up, because we also have as your first actual card, and before I start the reading I should actually say that it's set out in 3 sets of 3. So the first 3 are your past energy. That can be recent past, that can be childhood energy, but it's an energy that's still there, it's still in your psyche, it's still affecting you, because that energy is moving into your present energy, which is creating your future energy as well. So it's like past, present and future all connected together, and where the energies are coming from and going to. So as I was saying, not to give up, because the Star card here in reverse is an energy of giving up. When it's in reverse, it's an energy of losing hope, of losing belief in something, belief in yourself, belief in other people, belief in the situation around you, no longer feeling part of something. So we'll see what else comes out with this. With the Star card, after the Star card, we have a card that is unique to this set of tarot cards, which is the Palace of Wands. And the palaces are literally like that energy itself in kind of creative form. Like, how would it look if it was an actual building, so to speak? So here the Palace of Wands is creativity. It's very much about how you push forward with something, how you where your passion lies. You've got 2 Knight of Wands in that picture as well, which are all about pushing forward and passion and drive. And so it could be like a sense of creativity, like your creative drive, that may be what you were holding back on or keeping to yourself at this time, possibly, because here you're not, it doesn't feel as though you're pouring it out. It's like there's nothing being poured out here because the card is upside down. So it's an energy of drawing back with this star. And that's how I kind of felt it earlier. It was like this rush into something, but then this kind of, maybe that's this energy here as well, kind of this rush into something, but then pulling back. And you also have after this the Page of Cups in reverse as well. So this may be your kind of driving energy here. It's very much the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You may have that in your astrological makeup somewhere, Libra, or you may be dealing with a situation that is very kind of driven, passionate, fiery kind of situation. Maybe something that you feel you have to be careful with, or you were having to be careful with, you have had to be careful with, because this is past energy. You could also talk about a time where, for some of you, where you were very much more outward going, very much more kind of adventurous, able to experience things on a different level, able to enjoy life more, that things were easier, things came to you easier. Another thing about the fire energy is it's very magnetic, it kind of draws things to it, it's very creative in itself. It's that fire, that passion, that drive that we have for life itself. Kind of what gets you up in the morning, what gets you going, what gives you that desire to keep on pushing forward. But with the Page of Cups in reverse as well, this kind of feels like a bit of a kind of delicate energy here, or a delicate situation that you had to deal with here. And I keep getting kind of being told kid gloves. Libra, I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you, but kind of dealing with a situation with kid gloves, like it was quite volatile possibly. With the page, it could also have involved children, or a child, or an inner child, your own inner child. This could have been you growing up as a child. Possibly a sense of feeling like you didn't fit into that energy. Because it's fire and water, it is emotions. Emotions not being taken any notice of when they're in reverse here. It feels as though these emotions are not being recognized or being valued. Because pages, all the pages are young energy, they're energy that is learning as it's going, experiencing love, relationships, all those things that can be painful, that we learn to trust and not to trust from. So there could also be an element here of not trusting something, not trusting yourself maybe. Maybe that's why you kind of rushed forward and kind of pulled back, not trusting your own instincts, your own inner feeling on something here, Libra. Page of Cups, or the Cups energy, is that of the water signs, the water element, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. Early stages of kind of coming out from a situation that may have been like just very hot to handle, very I'm getting the feeling of it being like a family home, but it was a family home that was very kind of like full of very exuberant and very like almost over the top characters, larger than life type of people, all very kind of dramatic is also what's coming through here, like possibly very dramatic family, but also at the same time very much a kind of loving, warm, underlying energy. But it could be quite volatile as well. It could kind of explode quite easily at times. And maybe you felt as though you had to kind of it's feeling like kind of tiptoeing around a situation, or around people, or around, because this can be to do with, because it's a general reading, it can be to do with friends, it could be to do with family. It can be to do with work experience, work life. So then we have the Palace of Coins. So you've got two of these coins, Palace cards, sorry, coming out here. And interestingly, unlike the Palace of Wands, which is kind of built around this volcano in the background, it's supposed to be a volcano that's, yeah, volcano that it's built around it. The volcano is still visible in the back there. The Palace of Coins though is literally kind of built into the rock. It is part of it. It's a very strong kind of stable energy here. A stability. And it's also a feeling like this connection to the environment and your kind of your wealth and your health, kind of taking care of yourself here with all this fruit and abundance down here as well. Libra, this place of kind of knowing that you're being looked after, you're being taken care of, you know how to take care of yourself, you can take care of others because you can, because you feel, it feels like a place of strength and a place of knowing that there is more. This is a sense of knowing there is more, which is kind of what this bee spirit is also saying to me as well. Like sweet results await, because you are connecting on some level of knowing that there is more to come. And it's your present energy that we're working with here. And in the middle, the center card, is the Seven of Coins. Again, very earthy energy. And the Seven of Coins is kind of reaping what you've sown. So it's kind of saying whatever it was that you've planted in the past is your reward in the present. Seven of Coins being the center card as well. I always think of the center card as being the most important. So it's kind of where the energy comes out and goes into, and kind of around all the other, it's the center, it's the focus of the energy at this time. So your biggest focus at this time, shall we say, is the Seven of Coins here. And this could also have something to do with the words that I got earlier for you, Libra, as well. Should I or shouldn't I? This sense of, should I do this? Is this the right time? Is it ripe? Is it ready? Is it mature? Am I ripe? Am I ready? Am I mature? Kind of sense here. But it feels as though you are, it feels like there's strong balance here as well. Like you feel, it feels like you're centered. You are in alignment, grounded. Your environment is very nurturing. Whatever energy you have put out and put into this, it's kind of saying that now is the time to reap those rewards and allow yourself to have that pleasure from whatever it is the past has kind of brought you to today. And coming out of this energy of feeling hopelessness, and maybe becoming more creative with your own desires, your own passions, focusing on you, focusing on what you want, what you needed from a situation of feeling very kind of down and very disconnected, really. with those two cards, or especially with the star card. It feels like a very strong disconnection of energy, but it feels as though you are moving more into this connected place. But we do have the Page of Swords here and the Page of Cups, of course, above the Page of Swords as well, and they're both in reverse. So both of these, it feels to me as though it is a hesitancy within yourself. It is a place within you, Libra, where you don't feel as though possibly that you're deserving, or possibly that you are ready for something. Oops, that's how it's coming through today for me, the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups together. There's this kind of uncertainty of trusting your own knowing and your own instinct, almost like possibly a battle between the two sides of your nature as well, the kind of emotional versus the intellectual here, your feelings about something and your kind of thoughts on something. Although outwardly it appears as though everything is kind of aligned in your environment and strong. But then there's these two energies where you feel possibly unbalanced. Page of Swords, of course, is the young energy of the air signs. So it's Gemini energy, Libra energy, Aquarian energy, all very thinking, all very intellectual. As a Libra, you're looking for fairness, you're looking for justice, you're looking for balance, harmony. That's your kind of driving energy. But often we can feel out of balance to try and get to that balance. So in your future energy, you have the Knight of Cups. An interesting thing about this Knight of Cups is he doesn't actually have a cup in his hand. The only cup that he actually has here is on his shield. So it's kind of a guarded energy here as well. Especially with all that armour that he's wearing there. And that big spear that he's carrying. It's come out upright. So there's a sense of wanting this, whatever this is, whatever this emotional, fulfilling situation is, whatever it is that you're kind of moving towards here, Libra. At the same time, you are still guarded, because we also have at the bottom of this deck here, we have the Ace of Cups, which you're literally seeing is the same. Let me put it up that way. You can see it's the same cup on his shield. So he's not actually carrying a cup with him. Usually the knights are about carrying whatever it is that they want to express. But in this particular card, he isn't doing so. And he's riding a seahorse as well, and a seahorse is very much about like being in your emotions, and the seahorse itself is also kind of armoured and protected. But it is about being in your emotions. The seahorse is a very delicate creature as well. And they kind of move in a kind of bobbing fashion. They don't exactly move very quickly. So this Knight of Cups, I feel like even his armour is quite spiky as well. He's not, it doesn't feel open and wanting. And because of this, you also have the Nine of Swords here as well. So it feels as though this energy is kind of creating more problems than it's solving. Especially with these two young pages here as well. Nine of Swords is the card of nightmares. It's the card of feeling that you're caught up in a situation you can't get out of. Imagining the worst in all situations. Which could also be why you've got this armour on as well, because you're imagining something's going to be worse than it actually could turn out to be. But because you're kind of projecting that energy into the future, it's kind of creating it. So this is the kind of you sitting, if you like, Libra, in this energy of creating something that doesn't have to be as bad as you think it's going to be, is what's coming through here. But the last card you have in these three is the Death card. So there is this transformation taking place as well at the same time as all of this is happening. This is bringing you to a place of transformation. Literally like the snake shedding the skin. Leaving the past energy, moving away from something that's, and it feels like something, because the Death card is a big energy, it's a major arcana card, so it's a big energy, and it's the only major arcana card on the deck at this time, on the table. So it's kind of it's kind of saying that something has to change here, something has to transform, something has to be allowed to come to an end. Whatever that situation is. It started out from this star energy here of giving up on something, feeling hopeless, helpless. Disconnected. It's this journey kind of, that it's taken you through this journey to this death transformational energy here, which is happening on an inner level. So this is something that you may not be at all aware of, Libra, because the death transformation is something that happens inwardly, and then we kind of like show it outwardly. The change that occurs. And it does feel as though there's this kind of sense of maturing here, but also of this kind of clashing of your trusting your instincts, your knowing, your intuition here, versus the card of the intellect, the mind, the questioning, it's got to make sense. kind of what's coming through. The Seven of Coins is also a card, because it's a card of harvest and a card of reaping what you've sown. There is also this kind of warning element of leaving something to, like, on the bough too long, if you like, or to leave something too long so that it rots. And it's possibly also got something to do with this Death card as well, in the sense of because she looks to me today as though she's not wanting to have anything to do with those coins up here, in fact. Like quite a kind of defiant energy. Of knowing, it's like knowing it's there, knowing that this abundance in a way is there that you can put into your baskets. You can reap what you've sown, but you don't have to. You can just like leave it, literally leave it to rot. And it's almost like saying that in doing so, that will bring on this transformation. Like allowing something to like not getting involved in something, not putting your time and your energy and your effort into something that is possibly wanting you to, or calling for you to, asking you to. But I feel that there's this sense of defiance from you, of not wanting to go there or be part of it. Almost like walking away from it, maybe. And it also somehow feels separate from this Palace of Coins as well. It's almost coming through. It's like tasting the forbidden fruit. Possibly somebody offering something to you that isn't theirs to offer. But there's a kind of dilemma here as well, as I was saying, there's that dilemma of should you or shouldn't you? Should I or shouldn't I do this? Is what's coming through, and those were the words that came to me earlier. Should I or shouldn't I? It could be somebody trying to make or making you an offer that seems too good to refuse. and you could be stuck in your head about it. You don't know whether to trust your intuition or your understanding. So over the top of the Star card here, we've got the Hangman and Illumination. So that's two, again, powerful. So that's three major cards, major arcana cards all together here. Powerful energy. So it is feeling literally like you took yourself out of this picture. You took whatever this energy was here of giving up on something, losing hope, losing faith even in something here. Put you into this energy of Hangman, of kind of despondency, of kind of just hanging in there, just literally like taking yourself out of that energy and not knowing what was the best thing to do. All that you could do was take yourself to this place of non-action, and by doing so it feels as though something kind of illuminated the situation for you, because the Hangman is about seeing things from a higher perspective. It's about allowing your ego, I suppose, in a way, to like get out of the way in order for something else to come through. Usually the Hangman will come after a situation where something has been painful or difficult in our lives, and it's kind of saying there's nothing I can do about this. I can't change anything with the energy that I'm in at this time. I can't make a difference. I can't change this situation. All I can do is remove myself, remove my ego. Because the ego often wants to push us into doing things or force us into doing things. But when we kind of realise that by doing stuff, meddling in a way in things that we shouldn't be meddling in, or putting our energy into something that we shouldn't be putting our energy into, we're not actually doing ourselves any favours. That's kind of ego driven, because we want answers, or we want results, we want things to go the way we want them to, and when they don't, often we have to kind of realise that all we can do is make this kind of sacrifice, willingly sacrifice whatever that situation is. Let it be. Let what is going to happen in its own time. It's like taking that backward step. And if you see here, he's kind of, his head is under all this water. He's just kind of floating, and it feels like, you know, it can be a time of feeling like emotionally drowning. And just being kind of stuck in this place of stagnation, and feeling that nothing's changing. But it's from that kind of energy, it's from that giving up, it's from that letting go, which is what this Star card is also saying here. I feel was kind of this point of illumination, this Star energy here, and this Illumination card, where you kind of suddenly realise it's like that connection point. If you see, there's like a question mark up here. So as you're kind of hanging in this energy, it's like all of a sudden you see something clearer, you see something from a different perspective. It becomes obvious as to why something didn't work out. Not necessarily that you were doing anything wrong or that it was your fault or anything like that. It's just kind of all of a sudden you realise that it was not the right thing for you or the right way to be doing something. And it kind of feels like this bee energy again, this sudden realisation of all of this being connected, seeing the bigger picture, this sudden kind of illuminated, kind of, I like to call it like this aha moment of like suddenly understanding and seeing things so much clearer. And seeing all the connectivity within it. It's like suddenly getting an overview of all your life in a way. And how it all joins together. And this kind of question mark here is kind of like saying, you know, what's coming next? What's the next move? It's like a sudden, wake up call to seeing things from a higher perspective of understanding. So, why is the Palace of Wands here? So you could have gone from that energy into a place of very kind of creative understanding. Creatively realising where you are meant to be at and what you're meant to be doing, Libra. Focusing more on your own passion, drive, fire, creativity in general. It feels like kind of a wake up call. Again, the Illumination card is another card that is very specific for this deck as well. So you've got a few cards here that are unique. Which could also be saying that you've decided to do things your own way, in your own time. Because we have the Four of Chalices here, and this Four of Chalices is often a card of again trying to kind of take a backward step here. Four of Chalices, it's sadness, it's sorrow, it's kind of realising that not everything is meant for you or is meant to go the way you want it to go. It is a card of sadness, it is a card of sorrow, because sometimes when we get to that point we have to let something go, but it doesn't mean that we find it easy to do so. Even if our outer world isn't reflected by what we're feeling. Other people may view us in a very kind of different way, but what we're actually feeling inside we may not be expressing, but it could also be the driving force behind something as well, pushing you forward to achieve and be successful. Wanting to make a difference. in your life here, Libra. From a place of what has been unhappiness, and acknowledging that unhappiness as well. And with the Hangman and the Illumination energy there as well, it could also be saying that it was something that you tried to avoid, looking at, didn't want to see it, but it's kind of saying that you've had to acknowledge it. But it does feel as though it's kind of it feels as though it's awoken something within you. It's awoken this desire to achieve, is how it's feeling. To create. To make more of your life and of yourself, Libra, is how it's coming through. Again, we have butterflies with the Palace of Wands as well, and butterflies also talk about transformation. Transformation being a painful situation. We don't transform, often we don't transform within the happier times in our lives. It's often the painful situations that force that change upon us. So let's see why we have the Page of Cups here for Libra, the Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp energy for Libra. Before I forget, Libra, Cusp energy, you're going to be coming out of the Virgo energy, so you will be at 0 degrees of Libra, moving away from the Virgo energy. And if you're 29 degrees of Libra, you're going to be moving into the Scorpio energy. So if you are Cusp energy either end of your sign, you may want to also check out the readings that I did earlier for Virgo and the reading that I will be putting out later for Scorpio as well, because they may connect with your energy as well. Being a cusp energy means that you have some of the traits or the attributes of the previous sign or the next sign, depending on which end. So, Page of Cups, please. Why is the Page of Cups here for Libra? Too many. From nothing to everything. Okay. So the Page of Cups is that young energy. It's also feeling like that inner wounded child here as well. This Four of Cups is kind of whether or not you recognise this energy within yourself, Libra. Whether you recognised it in the past as well. And whether you wanted to recognise it, whether you wanted to acknowledge it or not. It's kind of, I feel as though it's kind of been sitting there. As I said, I still feel as though there's this kind of balance needed between these two, because this of course is very much the Libra energy as well, air, swords energy, the mind, thinking, but Libra is also the 7th sign of the zodiac, and that is also very much to do with personal relationships. So there is a softer, more gentle side to Libra than there can be with the other air signs in some way. Also being ruled by Venus as well, that makes a difference for Libra. So you have the 10 of Wands, which for me today is coming through as this feeling of being trapped in something, being caught up in something, not being able to escape something. Kind of an energy of almost like being dragged along by something. A situation, a person, something that you had an attachment to, or something that was attached to you, even something that you may have tried to let go of, but it wasn't wanting to let go of you, is how it's coming through here, Libra. Of course, it could also be the other way round. 9 of Swords again. That's come out twice here. And I see in this very much as that kind of similar to this kind of this willing, it's almost like this willing sacrifice. Because it's upside down again with this one here as well. It's like not, how can I put it? It's different to this energy because it's all about fear. It is all about, the 9 of Swords is all about fear, and it's about creating our biggest fears, making our biggest fear a reality. Because we keep going over and over, whatever that fear may be for you, Libra, it's like it becomes a reality in your head, even if not in real life, although it can show up in real life as well, because that's where you're putting your energy, or was where you were putting your energy, where you have put your energy in the past. But again, it's almost feeling like this, whatever this being dragged along energy here, person or place, almost like you were too scared possibly to stand up and disagree with this person or this situation. It feels like you just kind of just let them do whatever they wanted to do, basically. A sense of just of like, oh well, if that's how it is, then that's how it is. What can I do about it? There is nothing I can do about it. That's how it feels. Again, that kind of feeling of giving up. But then after that you have the High Priestess. What you get is that kind of intuitive knowing. It's this same kind of energy as this Page of Cups, that intuitive knowing. But the High Priestess is a major arcana card, so it's on a deeper level of really kind of understanding something, really kind of feeling something, knowing something, intuitively, feeling that something, it kind of feels like something needed to change. Because after this we have the Three of Pentacles as well. And the Three of Pentacles I see as you kind of taking back your place, your position, your power, rebuilding something here. Creating something long-lasting. Something beautiful. And we also have the Five of Swords. So it feels as though you kind of almost like giving your power away to something or somebody, and you would do your best to help this person, but then this person would turn around and kind of leave you out in the cold again, because you've got the Five of Swords here. Or something would tell you that you can't trust them on some deeper level. But you also have the Two of Chalices as well. So it's kind of saying to me that there is a situation of something, can be a person, can be a place, can be a situation, but something that you feel deeply connected to, or yeah, deeply connected to, that you can't, almost like you can't stand up against it or to it. Because it feels like it's a situation where you feel, or you believe that you feel good in it. Even though I feel on some level it's kind of, there is an immaturity here as well with the Page of Cups. Almost like it makes you feel, or it brings out this side of you, or this part of you that needs to be kind of loved and looked after and taken care of. It feels like it brings out that wounded child within. Or it did do, because this is the past energy. So it feels like a situation of going backwards and forwards, wanting to do your best by this person, this situation, but then again, them kind of, or it's turning cold on you, the situation kind of turning cold on you, the person turning cold on you, Libra. But it also feels as though they can't let this go either, because then they're back again with this Two of Chalices, possibly telling you how important you are. But it almost feels, I hesitate to say it, but it almost feels like being on some kind of leash here. Or you have been, you were at one point. Almost like this person played with you emotionally, or the situation played with you emotionally. It knew how to kind of tug at your heartstrings here. It knew your deepest fears. Or they knew your deepest fears. So, Palace of Coins. Seven of Swords. That's interesting. Seven of Swords. Today this is coming through for me as a defensive, like this is you. It is a place of strength, and it is a place of kind of stability within you, finding that strength and that stability. But with the Seven of Swords there as well, it's almost like your way of keeping this energy out. Because the Seven of Swords is very similar to me to the Five of Swords energy here. Because you've got five swords kind of stuck into the ground here, and he's kind of pulling them out. He's got two in his hands here. His face is also covered as well, and their faces are covered. So it's coming through as an energy of kind of keeping things close to you, keeping your own thoughts, your own cards, shall we say, close to your chest at this time. Not giving anything away, not not being as fully open as you might have been previously. There is this sense of being guarded, and it's kind of this palace is coming through as a protection energy for me now as well, of this strength and protection, that you've kind of managed to find this place of security and stability for yourself, and you're kind of trying to keep out this energy that feels, it almost feels like somebody wanting to, I wouldn't say take away what you have, but it's almost like if they, like not allowing them to infiltrate into that energy is how it's coming through, not allowing them to come into your secure space, this space that you're building for yourself here, or you have built for yourself. It's like keeping stum, keeping mum on something, not giving anything away. It does literally feel like, yeah, just like not allowing that energy into your space anymore. Like you're very closed off to it. And we have the Knight of Chalices, which we also have down here as well. So you have the Knight of Chalices twice. But in this Knight of Chalices, he does have a cup in his hand. And he's kind of riding on this wave as well. He's riding on this wave of emotion. So something has kind of got you stirred, got you like emotionally, you're feeling as though you are like riding the wave, literally kind of riding that wave is what's coming through. It's over the top of this Seven of Coins. Which is that energy of kind of that dilemma of not knowing should you or shouldn't you. But if this is the past energy, if this is like, you know, past reaping what you've sown type of energy, it feels as though you're open to it here, like you're going in for it. It almost feels as though you're riding this wave as well to kind of nurture it, to nurture this tree, to help it grow, to bring things back to life possibly. Like once you've actually picked the fruit from it, or the coins as they are. But for me it's also coming through as fruit, like an abundance. But for some reason I do not trust this energy here. This Seven of Coins character. And whatever it is that is kind of being promised here. And that tree could also represent yourself as well here, Libra. This could actually represent you. The tree could represent you as the kind of giving source of the energy here. Of somebody coming to take from you what you have, which is interesting because we've also got this Seven of Swords energy here as well. So the Seven of Swords is kind of also representing this 7 coins up here as well. But I feel as though this is the other energy, this card. The Seven of Swords. It feels like this is you trying to keep that other energy at bay, like away from it, from you. And this could either be you or the other situation, person, place, but something, it feels like something that is coming in on this wave of water to kind of nurture this tree, feed this tree. And this could be a different situation entirely. It could be that this situation, whatever this is for you, Libra, is kind of guarding this tree. Could also be what this is as well. It's kind of guarding, because it's over the top of this energy here, which feels like your energy today, even though it's not air energy. It's very earthy, it's very grounded. It almost feels like you kind of rooting yourself, kind of coming down to earth to actually kind of create something strong for yourself. But there is this outside influence that keeps, how it feels is that this, whatever this outside influence is, it kind of makes you believe that it's for your benefit. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it is or it has been. Oh, let me read these first. So this Knight of Chalices could be somebody new coming in, like I was saying, on this wave of emotion, which is going to feed this tree here, which is you. But this, whoever this is not happy about it, because they're almost, it feels like an almost kind of very possessive energy here. So over the top of this Page of Swords, we have the Six of Chalices in reverse. We have the Seven of Pentacles again. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Eight of Chalices and the Eight of Swords in reverse. So again, I see this as your energy. This kind of innocent, actually, is how it's coming through today. This kind of innocent energy. Trusting. Innocent, trusting. Again, it does feel like, as I was saying, these two sides of your own personality here as well, that are needing to grow up or mature. That's how it's kind of feeling, like there's a side of you, a part of you that is yet to develop on that level. So there is this trusting, innocent side of your personality here that keeps getting kind of caught up. Sure, there was another card, maybe not. Yeah, there was the Six of Chalices, the first card here. So the Six of Cups, Six of Chalices in reverse, does talk about a situation where you feel very connected to somebody or something, and it's not easy to let it go, even when it's in reverse here, or they don't find it easy to let you go, one way or the other. Because somebody here, she's sitting in all this water, emotions, and she's glancing backwards. She's looking back at the past, looking back at what's happened. And the Six of Chalices can also be a card of melancholy, also regret on some level as well. This could be your energy, this could be the other person's energy. There is also, on some level, there can be a closure within the Six of Chalices as well, because you can kind of come to the realization that you can't change what's happened. What's happened's happened. But you can make a difference in your future. That you can do things differently, that things don't have to always be the way that they have been. And with the Seven of Pentacles here, again, This time it feels more like this is you, your energy. This could also be your energy, there's no reason why not, but this feels as though this is you replanting. Again, Seven of Pentacles is to do with harvesting. But it kind of feels today more like these are you are planting these. This is your new story that you are creating within this new dynamic in a way. But it feels as though you are going to have to face up to things. You're going to have to face up to this Queen of Swords, which is coming through, where are we, as this energy here originally, but now it feels as though like you are taming this beast. Like this again could well be your energy, Libra, because it is air, it is swords, it is intellect, it is kind of, it feels like this is more a sense of taking responsibility, not allowing this to continue. Because you have the Eight of Chalices straight after that, and that's saying to me that you are walking away from that, whatever that situation was, you are walking away from it. You're realising that it's not making you happy, it's not giving you what it is that you need here on an emotional level. And the Eight of Swords after that, after the Eight of Chalices, is this sense of being trapped in that story, being trapped, being kind of caught up in it, trapped in it, having been kept in that place. Of fear, of not being able to stand up to this energy here, or this person, whatever this means to you, Libra. And it also is coming through as you kind of trying to hide from this as well. Like after walking away, this feeling of having to hide from it, or hide from the situation or the person or whatever this is. But there's a feeling of having to remove yourself and hide. And over the top of the Knight of Cups you have the Moon and the Eight of Wands in reverse. Both, oh sorry, the Moon's in reverse, the Eight of Wands isn't in reverse. So the Knight of Cups over the top of the Moon card is saying that there are things that you are keeping hidden here. Feelings, emotions. You're not ready yet to completely possibly allow somebody else into your life here, or allow a situation into your life, a new situation, completely. Not fully. You want something, you want to express how you feel about something. You want something new and something passionate, something emotionally satisfying, something that you're going to be able to put yourself into. But the Moon is also saying that at this time there's a lot of confusion, not seeing everything clearly, and that you're holding back, emotionally holding back, not wanting to be open or exposed as well is what's coming through here. And with the Eight of Wands, it does talk about wanting to open up and wanting to communicate, wanting to reach out. But it also feels like there's too much, like it could be overwhelming. There's a feeling of it being yeah, it just feels like overwhelming, this energy of overwhelming, of kind of holding back, not possibly being fully trusting the situation at this time, even though it feels as though it feels like it's a safe or a safer situation. There's more growth in this situation. And interestingly, it does feel as though these swords are changing from swords, from kind of a protective barrier to being more yielding, shall we say, a little bit more open, a little bit more willing. They're not as sharp. They're not as it's like you're not as defensive in the same way. You're still kind of defensive, but it's in a more, it's like subtle. There's a subtlety to it. There's a more, it just feels like more yielding, like you're a little bit more flexible, perhaps, is what's coming through. There's a flexibility here. There's a willingness here to work with something here. After this situation where you feel as though you've had to kind of be very guarded and very kind of protective of your energy, Libra. But you do still have this Nine of Swords here as well. And it's in reverse. So the Nine of Swords can be a card of, like I said, nightmares, but it can also feel as though it's your own personal kind of I'm going to put your own personal, like nobody else can, it's your own, yeah, nobody else can visit that world. This is your personal fears, your personal, and it's like, because it's in reverse, it's something that you don't fully express. It's very much kept within you. It's very much within internal. You don't externalize it, you internalize it. It becomes your idea of reality. In a sense, it can feel like everybody's out to get you at times, is how it's coming over, Libra. Who do you trust? Who can you, should you or shouldn't you trust? That's the kind of feeling I'm getting from that card today. And we have the Nine of Pentacles over the top of this. And it feels as though you yourself are exhausted. This has been going on for a long time. And the Knight of Pentacles kind of talks of that energy because it's the slowest knight in the deck. Most trustworthy. Again, it's this kind of pentacle, stable, secure. He is the most trustworthy out of all the knights. Most loyal, most down to earth, most grounded in his sense of purpose. But today it's coming through as this sense of exhaustion, literally of exhaustion, of you kind of going over and over this same scenario in your head, or the same, experiencing the same thing outwardly in your life, and fear of something like nothing's ever going to change, that you're just going to keep going over this same path, this same pattern. Experiencing the same storyline. Creating the same scenarios. But of course you have the Death card here, Libra, as your last card, which is kind of saying that everything is transforming here. Even if you're not aware of it happening, it is taking place. And it's upright as well, so it's a foregone conclusion that it is going to happen on some level. There will be changes. Possibly only when you get to that point of being really fed up of living this over and over again, of experiencing this kind of nightmarish situation, or people, relationships, scenarios in general. Only when you get to that point of kind of sheer exhaustion, just had enough completely, I feel, will it make a difference? Because the Six of Swords is saying that you have the ability to move on from these stormy waters and cross this bridge. The bridge is there, it's kind of there and it's waiting. It's like moving from one side to the next. That's kind of over the top of this Death card. Usually the Six of Swords is about leaving a stormy, tempestuous situation behind, getting into a boat and moving forward, leaving whatever it was in your past and moving into calmer, clearer, more tranquil waters. But because it's upside down, it's kind of saying you're still not at that place. It's like you've got to the boat, you've got to the bridge, you're there, but as of yet you're not actually getting into that boat, or you're not actually, or you will be because this is your future. You're not actually stepping into it, you're not actually ready. Again, you've got butterflies here as well, so there is definitely transformation taking place. It's trusting as well, trusting that evolutionary process. Letting go is a big thing to be able to do, moving on. Literally, for some of you, it could literally be like the literal moving from not just a relationship, but the whole kind of area or country, or you know, just whatever it is that kind of brings back that same feelings, because that's what this is kind of talking about. It's about the feelings that are needed to be left behind. And sometimes if you're still in that same area, if you're still experiencing the same thing day in, day out, seeing the same people, going over the same places, visiting the same places, etc., etc., it doesn't give you the chance to be able to actually leave that energy behind, because it just keeps coming back and reminding you And that's how I'm feeling about this Six of Swords at this time as well. It just kind of keeps reminding you of the same story, the same scenario over and over. So I'm quickly going to pull a... This has been quite a long, in-depth reading here, Libra. So let's see what Abraham would like to say to you for guidance. My slightest improvement is of such great value. That's interesting because I'm actually seeing this card very similar to this card here, like this palace, like this person is literally this kind of hill or this mountain. So my slightest improvement is of such great value, and it says there is tremendous value when you are able to deliberately cause even the slightest improvement in the way you feel. For even in that small emotional improvement, you may have regained a measure of control. You no longer feel powerless, and so your trek back up the emotional scale is now not only possible, but it is relatively easy. So it's kind of talking about that up and down energy in a way, as I was saying about earlier, that kind of like backwards and forwards, going backwards into the same thing. But you have got some more strength, and that's kind of what I'm feeling with this, is like there is this kind of stronger side of you, even on an emotional level here as well. You are kind of, even though this could work in the long run, this could work against you, because being armoured emotionally is not always good long term, but short term, as a protective kind of energy, it could be something that's beneficial. So what it's kind of saying is, when you get to that point, going back to the Star card actually, of kind of feeling hopeless, that's what kind of kept you on that level of hopelessness, was that giving up, but that changed. And so your emotional improvement, you have kind of risen above it that little bit more. And you are feeling stronger. You are feeling as though you've got this place of inner strength. And so when you kind of drop back down into that emotional powerlessness, you know that you can get back up to that place again. It's not as difficult because you've just come from there, is what it's kind of saying here. And so lastly, I will give you a crystal Deva card very quickly, because time is running on. Long reading, Libra. So a crystal card for Libra, please. Crystal card for Libra. So again, for any cross watchers who may be watching this, just be aware that the energy may be your energy that is being spoken of here as well. This could also be your story, your part in the story. So just take it as it comes. If you're in a relationship with a Libra, or involved in some way with a Libra, connected to a Libra somehow, this could be part of your story as well. So Libra, Sun, Moon, Venus, rising, cusp energy for Libra. A crystal card please for Libra. Crystal card. Lepidolite, tranquility, which is interesting because that's kind of what I was saying about crossing this bridge into tranquility, leaving those stormy waters behind and moving towards more calmer, tranquil, emotional times. So the crown, so the chakra is the crown chakra, and the colour is lavender. And it says, tranquility is a heavenly state where worry is a non-concept. In this peaceful environment, you are able to see beyond and avoid the everyday emotional traps that are laid so carefully for you everywhere. You make decisions from a new place of security and knowing. Where do you find tranquility in your world? Can you picture a special place where you are overcome with a peaceful feeling? Tranquility requires a quiet space in which to take form. It is not a condition that appears full-grown and complete. It builds on itself. Through relaxation, meditation, or any quiet time, you can create an entranceway into the self that will permit tranquility to enter. Through a corridor of lavender light, the essence of tranquility may be drawn into the body for soothing and healing. Tranquility radiates downward and outward from the crown chakra, the connection between the ultimate peace of the universe and its physical container, your body. Your vessel can absorb as much tranquility as there is psychic space available. Tranquility provides a favourable environment for healing to occur. Like planting a garden, tranquility prepares the body to receive the seed of health. That's interesting. That's what I was saying about this card here as well. I felt that this was about you planting for the future. It also maintains optimal conditions for that seed to grow and heal the entire self. Tranquility creates a body state where tumours and ulcers do not grow, where hearts pump without strain, where minds are free of demons. That's that energy there. Tension holds the body in a vice that causes imbalances. Too much here, not enough there. Before you know it, your muscles ache, your head or back hurts, your stomach burns. If allowed to continue on this course, organs will suffer and general body deterioration will begin. The final step is physical death. Is it necessary to act out this gloomy portrayal? Not if you embrace tranquility in your life. Allow us to help. We carry the essence of tranquility on the physical plane. Hold a stone or card in your hand or place one of them on top of your head. Sit quietly and breathe deeply. So it might be worth, Libra, getting yourself a piece of whatever this is, lepidolite. And interestingly, tranquility is one of the words that goes along with Libra energy as well. Because Libras are looking for that balance, that harmony, that tranquility. But that doesn't mean they find it easily. So, okay, sit quietly and breathe deeply. Enter through the crown chakra and immerse yourself in the lavender colour there. Allow the lavender to flow from the crown chakra down slowly into your chakra system. Then release tranquility from each chakra so that it spreads outward into the body from the core to the extremities. Visualize this peaceful feeling entering your physical self like coloured liquid entering the water. See the lavender spreading into every pore of your being. You should feel a total relaxation, a letting go of all your encumbrances. Particularly, you will notice the release of tension in your neck and along your spinal column. Tranquility gently moves out any blockages caused by tension. You have opened the door to your body and said, welcome. You have invited the magic of healing into your space. If you do this exercise regularly, you can keep your inner self and body free of any problems. Ordinarily, tranquility and disease do not coexist. However, there may be some incarnations when the soul has agreed to take on a physical condition for learning. An awareness and understanding of that situation may often be accompanied by a feeling of peace and tranquility. So there is no substitute for what it will bring to your life. Let it become your constant companion, your normal way of being. We are honoured to be part of the crystal contingent that has wanted for so long to talk to you, our dear and treasured friends. So again, it may well be worth finding yourself a piece of tranquility here. Lepidolite. Also, possibly lavender flowers, lavender oil as well, because that has a very similar effect to soothing, relaxing, and just general kind of well-being as well. So that may also help you on some level, Libra, with any stress levels you may have at this time. So I'm going to leave your reading there, Libra, and say thank you very much to those of you who have watched it. I really do hope that you have got something from it, that it has helped you somehow. If it has, please could you thumbs it up for me, because the more likes it gets, the more it gets out into the bigger YouTube world, the more people get to see it, the more people will then be able to come back to my channel and hopefully look at my other videos as well. So the likes are really important. It's the reason that we all us YouTube creators constantly go on about how many thumbs up is important, because otherwise YouTube can just ignore a video. It's all about the algorithms, unfortunately. So also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please could you do so as well. There is a little button either on my video itself or underneath the video, depending. I have nothing to do with that, so it's either one place or the other. Again, tap the little button and it will give you the bell, which you can decide whether or not you want to actually watch any more of my videos as and when I put them out. Also, there is a playlist where I do all the full moon, the new moon videos, and all the zodiac signs as well. I do both the tarot and the astrology for the moons videos. Also, thank you very much to those of you who have liked my videos. Thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed to my videos channel as well. I really do appreciate it, and I really love having you here with me to kind of follow my journey in the world of YouTube and tarot. I haven't been doing anything for a while because I had a big transit, a big Saturn square my Mars and my Mercury, and everything just stopped. It just all came to a halt. That was kind of from December up until about March, I think that was. So now I'm back, I'm catching up, and I'm trying to put these out on a much more regular basis. So again, thank you very much to those who have been with me since the beginning. Really do appreciate you being here. And with everything else being said, I'm going to finish it at that, Libra. Just say, please take really good care of yourself. If you feel like sharing this video, please do so. And hopefully I'll see you again sometime soon.